My name is BC Hoffman.
And my name is Lalita Lo.
And I'm Judith Jones.
And this is Recipe Wars. So today we're doing pot stickers. The #1 go-to for a good dim sum dish. I chose Anita Lo, the restaurant owner and chef of the Rickshaw Dumpling House in New York.
Hi, my name is Anita Lo, and I'm the chef here at Anisa, Rickshaw Dumpling Bar and Bar Q. And today I'm going to show you how to make filling now for our dumplings.
Because if you're going to go with just great dumplings, you might as well go with Anita Lo.
And I'm choosing the recipe by Ming Tsai.
Look at these beautiful pot stickers we do here at Blue Ginger. I'm with my main guys Mario and Javier, and they are prepping hundreds of these a day.
He's also the host of a show called East Meets West and Simply Ming. He pretty much brought Asian fusion to the map here in the United States. And he was also a really tough competitor in The Next Iron Chef. So I'm gonna bring that toughness right here in this recipe war.
And I will be doing Martin Yan's recipe where he will be showing Tyler Florence how to make pot stickers.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Ultimate. On today's show in San Francisco, we'll be cooking with the legendary Martin Yan. It's done.
Very, very fun video.
With that being said, let's get this recipe war started. So for my recipe, I'm going to be doing Anita Lo's pot stickers. She starts off simply with pork. Now, if you're using just pork, she says you definitely want to use vegetables involved in there because otherwise it's just going to be a heavier, more dense dumpling.
If you just put just meat in there, it'd be a very heavy, dense dumpling. So what you need to do is lighten it with some vegetable.
And you definitely want to get some vegetables in there to make it lighter. So we're going to take our cabbage, which you can chop by hand. She takes a little Napa cabbage, and she also puts it in the food processor. So if you have a food processor at home, by all means put it in there. Or you can chop it by hand as I did. I'm going to then take the cabbage, throw it in my towel. You want to get all the excess moisture. This is one of the keys. You want to get that extra moisture right out of your cabbage. So you can take the bowl that you had the cabbage in or a separate bowl, and you're literally just going to squeeze out any excess moisture that you have in there.
And my recipe by Ming Tsai also does the same thing, except mine I salted it a little bit earlier for about 30 minutes, and what that is gonna do is lock in the salt seasoning into the cabbage and then suck out all that excess moisture.
So you can literally see the liquid that's coming right out right there, just dripping down.
Right, so you don't want a wet batter.
Yeah, you don't want a wet dumpling. So then once you do that, you're gonna throw your cabbage right into your bowl with your meat. And then while that's going on, Anita Lo uses dried shrimp.
Next, I'm going to start soaking a little bit of this dried shrimp. The Chinese name for shrimp is har, and the Chinese believe that if you eat shrimp, you'll have a year full of laughter because the word is a homonym for the sound that we make when we're laughing.
And she actually soaks them with a little cooking wine. You can use rice wine, cooking wine, whichever works better.
And no cabbage at all in my recipe, so no squeeze in action for me, but I will be using fresh shrimp and fresh pork. So in goes the shrimp, which we have minced. Really nice fresh shrimp right there. And pork. It's gonna give it some nice flavor. Instead of using cabbage, we're gonna be using a lot of other different flavors like Chinese celery and cilantro to give it texture and taste. So into the pork and shrimp, we will put our Chinese celery. Our cilantro goes in there too. My recipe also does call for ginger, and they've got a cool little technique that they use. You get a little spoon, and you basically just go around, and you can peel the ginger.
So in my recipe, Ming Tsai, he actually specifies to use a fattier blend of ground pork. And you can tell that your pork is fattier when it's lighter in color. So mine is going to be super juicy and super moist.
So in goes the ginger that I've just grated. And I'm going to be using water chestnuts. This is a really nice addition. Now, in the video, they make sure that you use fresh water chestnuts.
Water chestnut, fresh, much better than canned water chestnuts.
These are fresh water chestnuts. I mean, most people think that water chestnuts grow in a can.
Chestnuts do not grow in a can, that's right. And they peel that really, really quickly and put that in there, and that's going to give a nice crunch. When they're eaten raw, they're sweet and crunchy and it just tastes really good. Got a nice subtle flavor.
So in mine, I'm putting in oyster sauce as well as soy sauce, and that's gonna give you your saltiness right there. So you are still gonna add a pinch of salt to your actual recipe, but you don't wanna put too much because you already have the saltiness from your soy and from your oyster sauce. And then I'm also gonna put in a little bit of sesame oil. The sesame oil, a little bit goes a long way, so you don't wanna overdo.
I think we all use sesame oil.
Yes.
We do. I love
Like it's
sesame.
It's a great kick, and it's just very traditional. And also I have right here for 2 binders, I have my cornstarch and also my eggs. That's gonna give you your binding for the meat and just make it also absorb a lot of that moisture with the cornstarch.
Yep, I'm gonna put in my cornstarch in here, as well as my remaining ingredients. So we've got our soy sauce here, our sesame oil as well, used sparingly, great flavor.
So Anita Lo says that your hands are the best cooking tool you can use in a kitchen. And for me, being a messy and just all around getting right in your face cook, I love to use my hands just to get this really nicely mixed together and delicious.
And last but not least, in goes my egg white and my white pepper. And we're just gonna bind that all together, and that is gonna give a really nice filling.
So my recipe is actually really simple. It has a lot less ingredients than everybody else. I don't use cornstarch in mine, but at the same time, it's still gonna be really flavorful because I am using a really fatty blend of ground pork.
So I'm ready to start folding mine.
And so am I.
Oh. So a little bit of history behind the pot sticker is it actually started in the Song Dynasty, and it was a mistake. The chef supposedly left the recipe on the pot way too long, and it burned the bottom. And fearing for his life in the imperial court, his son took the dumplings over and presented them as pot stickers, a completely different thing rather than the actual dumpling. It was a hit, and from there, we got our favorite pot stickers. Now there's a lot of different types of wrappings you can use for your dumplings or your pot stickers. One is the square, and the other is the circle. We're gonna do the half crescents, and I believe all of us go for the...
Yeah, the circles.
Yes.
Yes. And we've put a damp towel over our wrappers because we don't want them to dry out as we're folding our dumplings. So my recipe to glue the wrappers together, instead of using water, which the both of them are using, I'm gonna do a little egg wash, which is just some egg and water.
So when you're putting your filling into your wrapper, you want to make sure you don't put too much because too much is going to burst out when you actually put it in your pan. And that's the one thing you don't want because then your pot sticker will do exactly what you don't want it to do, and that's stick to the pan. Another thing is you don't want to overcook them when you actually have the cooking process going because again, that will make them stick to the pan and it will defeat the whole purpose of the browning on the bottom.
Absolutely. So I am getting a very small amount of my lovely pork shrimp into the middle. As BC said, just a little should do it. And then I'm gonna brush the sides with the water. Now they do it all in their hands. So I'm gonna try the same. And then we're gonna fold it over, pinch them together. So it might take you a little bit of time to perfect the punch snap.
Push snap.
Push snap, right? Sorry, I'm not saying it right.
She's a violent one this one.
Of the dim sum. But you just wanna get nice little pleats.
I think I might have one-upped you guys. I think I got the little Asian hand techniques going on there.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
So my recipe, they actually have a recipe to make your own dough, which is made from water, boiling water, and flour, which could be easy, but I find that using already pre-made wrappers makes them a little more consistent if you're a first timer in making pot stickers.
The other thing, when you are putting the egg wash or the water, either way, it is the glue that's going to bind your pot sticker together. You can do the push snap right away, or you can do the pleating. And basically, you're gonna push all the air out, make sure there's no air in there, and then do your pleats. And I believe Ming Tsai calls for 6, no, he calls for 8, because it's better.
In the feng shui department. So he's a big believer in feng shui, which is in the Chinese culture, it's just kind of a way of living that promotes longevity or balance. So in here he says that 8 is supposed to be the correct number of pleats for better feng shui.
So now that we have folded and pleated our pot stickers, it is now time to cook. So we cook our pot stickers twice. We first fry them and then we steam them. So I'm gonna get it to a medium heat and put in the oil, not too much. So the idea is we want to get the pot stickers golden brown and crispy at the bottom before we steam.
And I think we're all doing the same kind of method, except I'm using chicken stock in mine, and what that is going to do, just make it that much more flavorful.
I'm gonna start working on my sauce. In here I've got my soy sauce, I've got my rice wine vinegar, I've got my scallions, and I've got my chili sambal. And then I'm just gonna give that a quick whisk.
And I'm gonna make my sauce now as well. So I'm gonna use soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, chili garlic sauce, that's gonna give it a nice kick, and chili oil. So just gonna stir that all together, and then that is ready for dipping.
As soon as your oil is ready, I just drop a little bit of water in to see if it's ready. As you can tell, it's starting to pop up as soon as I put that drop of oil in, which means my oil is ready to go, my pan is hot, and I'm ready to start cooking up and frying my pot stickers.
I think mine is ready to go.
Mine is also ready to go, so we're gonna do it seam side up into the pan.
Now again, you're just looking for one side of your pot sticker to have that nice golden brown bottom. And then the other side is going to be steamed.
So my pot stickers have gone through the first stage of its cooking process, which is the searing part. So now that I've gotten it a nice golden brown, I'm gonna add my chicken stock. And you wanna be careful because it is gonna steam up a little bit.
So it's been about 5 to 7 minutes now, and all of our pot stickers are done. So the real test right now is to pull them out. Now, the trick to pulling them out is to make sure you have 2 tools to help you with this. 1, your tongs. 2, your spatula. Spatula, you're gonna basically just scrape on the bottom right there, so that way it comes right off. And if you've cooked them well enough and have not overcooked them, they should come right off right away. We're just gonna put those right on our plate. So it's now time to plate up and taste these pot stickers for this recipe war to see who is the winner. I think we should start off with a little Ming Tsai action.
Okay, little Ming Tsai.
A little East meets West. I think for the taste test, no sauce.
No sauce.
No
I think
sauce.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree, but
Yeah, once again, mine is really simple, so you can taste each element of, so there's the garlic, the ginger, the cabbage.
I like the crunchiness of the cabbage.
And
I
this-
like the ginger in there.
It's simple.
And the saltiness comes out from that chicken broth that you put in the bottom of it. I really like that, and it also keeps it a little extra moist.
Let's go with yours.
Let's do a little rickshaw action, a little Anita Lo.
There's a little bit more flavor in here.
I think it could use maybe a little more salt.
Number 3, let's do it. I love the fact that we're going for Martin Yan's.
Yan.
Martin Yan is a god in the Chinese realm of cooking. Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
I really like the water chestnuts.
Yes, gives a good crunch.
Great texture.
I like the fact that the shrimp are big shrimp, and they just, I mean, it definitely stands out. So, the question is, who is the winner of this recipe war?
I'm gonna have to go with Judith's recipe by Martin Yan. I think the filling is a lot lighter, and the water chestnuts give it a great texture, and I really like the use of the herbs, the fresh cilantro in there.
I definitely agree. The chestnuts, the celery, the cilantro all give it like really great taste and texture.
You know, I think it's unanimous. Martin Yan is the winner.
Martin Yan.
All
Good
right.
Love it, love
Yeah.
it. Who would you say is getting second on this one?
It's a tough one. It really is. You guys both have great flavors in there. I think yours is lacking in a little bit of salt.
I like mine for its simplicity, and it's got a lot of sesame oil in there, and I love sesame oil.
Your vote is
It's a
the
close tie.
your vote is the decision maker for number 2. Dun, dun,
You know you
dun.
love sesame oil.
I think I'm gonna have to go with this.
Wow.
I actually do like that taste of sesame oil.
The winner in first place is Martin Yan. Second place is Ming Tsai, and third place is Anita Lo. I am the loser today of this recipe war. My name is BC Hoffman.
And my name is Lalita Lo.
And I'm Judith Jones.
This has been Recipe Wars with Pot Stickers. Please subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and catch us next time on Recipe Wars.